than half a minute away from the flight of this Falcon 9, the second for SpaceX today. T-minus 30 seconds and counting. And here we go. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 rocket on the Starlink 10-41 mission. The Falcon 9 has cleared the tower. Falcon 9 rocket now traveling faster than the speed of sound, a little more than a minute after lifting off. Approaching max Q, point of greatest aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. Confirmation of max Q heard. Coming up to a few events in rapid succession, but first will be the MVAC chill, the thermal conditioning of the Merlin vacuum engine on the rocket's upper stage.
MVAC chill has started.
Coming up next for the Falcon 9 rocket will be first stage main engine cutoff, or MECO, beginning at T plus 2 minutes and 26 seconds after departure from the pad. That will be followed quickly by stage separation and then the ignition of the Merlin vacuum engine on the rocket's upper stage. The payload fairings are set to jettison right about at the 3-minute mark in flight. More than 2 minutes post liftoff here, less than 20 seconds now till MECO. MECO, stage separation.
Main engine cutoff. Stage separation confirmed. MVAC startup.
Good calls, good visuals from the SpaceX onboard cameras. You can see the hypersonic grid fins now deploying on the booster. A nice view of the coastline there on the upper right of your screen. Fairing separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Nice visual of those fairing halves falling away from our tracker view. Now a little more than 3 minutes into the flight of this Falcon 9 rocket. Coming up next will be the 3-engine entry burn. That's coming up at just about 6 minutes into this mission. So far, all appearing to go nominally for SpaceX on their second Falcon 9 rocket launch of the day. This also being the company's 22nd Falcon 9 rocket launch, supporting its Starlink constellation so far in 2026.
Both vehicles are on a nominal trajectory.
There's that good confirmation of a nominal trajectory for both the first and second stages of the Falcon 9 rocket. In the big box, you're seeing our ground trackers that are following along with the glow of the Merlin vacuum engine at the moment. Upper right is the booster. The box on the bottom right is, of course, the Merlin vacuum engine nozzle powering the rocket's upper stage. Booster is past its apogee, now making its descent towards the drone ship called Just Read the Instructions, waiting for it in the waters of the Atlantic Ocean off of the coast of South Carolina. A few hundred miles out to sea. T plus 5 minutes into the flight, again coming up next in now less than 1 minute will be that 3-engine entry burn. That will help dramatically slow the vehicle down ahead of the single engine landing burn a little bit later in flight. And again, as a reminder for those joining us with coverage right now, we'll have a roundup of all of the various views that we had at liftoff coming up after booster landing. So you'll want to stick around for that so you can see all the various angles that we captured this flight from.
Both vehicles continue to follow a nominal trajectory. Stage 1 FTS safe.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And a good job by our tracking team capturing the start of that entry burn, which will last less than 30 seconds in duration.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And with the entry burn now in the rear view mirror, coming up next is the single engine landing burn, which will take the booster B-1078 down to the drone ship. Just read the instructions. The booster flying today making its 26th trip to space and back.
Stage 1 transonic.
With the booster traveling below the speed of sound, the start of the entry burn, or the start of the landing burn, I should say, is coming up now in less than 30 seconds. Because it's low enough to the horizon and far enough away, we won't be able to capture that with our ground tracking cameras, which is why at this point we're relying on the onboard cameras from SpaceX.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Stage 2 FTS safe.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And a good landing for a 26th time for B-1078.
In-back shutdown. Nominal park orbit insertion.
And with that good parking orbit achieved, the upper stage of the Falcon 9 will now coast until T plus 54 minutes, 10 seconds. There will be a brief 1-second burn to circularize the orbit. And then the Starlink satellites will be deployed at about T plus 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 31 seconds post liftoff. And with that good landing of the booster, we are getting those promised launch replays ready and in work for you. In the meantime, let's go ahead to our mission stats as they currently stand, and we'll bring in the replays as soon as they are ready. With a good liftoff and landing of the first stage booster, that was flight number 26 for booster 1078 in the SpaceX fleet, marking the liftoff of the 609th Falcon 9 rocket launch to date, the 27th of the year so far. This was SpaceX's 543rd Falcon booster reflight, with a launch of a booster that has flown at least once. This was the company's 167th orbital launch within the last 365 days, the 312th total orbital launch from Pad 40 for SpaceX, and the 367th overall orbital launch from this pad as well. Here's an updated look at the bar chart for the SpaceX Falcon family of rockets. Moving on to some recovery stats. This was the 152nd good landing on the drone ship called. Just read the instructions. That marked SpaceX's 477th successful drone ship landing, the 580th booster landing for SpaceX, and the 581st landing of an orbital class rocket, including Blue Origin's Never Tell Me the Odds. Finally, with some industry mission stats, this was the 15th orbital launch from Florida, the 26th from U.S. soil, the 28th from a U.S. rocket company, and the 44th orbital launch around the world. There have been 3 orbital mishaps so far this year. Here's a look at the updated Cape bar chart. Here is where the orbital pie chart now currently stands, with U.S. continuing to hold the majority of the launches driven by SpaceX and the Falcon 9. And with that, let's go ahead and turn to our launch replays. We begin things tonight with a look at the fixed view from the press site, as shot by Adam Bernstein. Moving on to the wide view here at the press site. As we were watching these replays, want to go through and thank some folks from the live chat whose super chats I was not able to read before liftoff. Turning now to the wide tracker view here by John. So from the chat, thanks to Brian. Pardon me. Thanks to Brian Robinson for the $5 super chat. Great last name. Brian says simply, thanks. Well, thank you, Brian. Also, thanks to Elizabeth Holzer for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Elizabeth. Daniel H. 1708 gifting a Spaceflight Now membership.